Welcome, this is Koala Brownie. Today I am doing a review for Guildmaster Gratuitous Subtitle. Now, a full disclosure, the developer, Jim Makes Games, he's a guy I've followed on YouTube for a number of years now, ever since I found his Star Control 2 playthrough, and I also gave him a couple bucks on, Patreon, so full disclosure, I did pay for this game myself, so it's not a paid promotion or anything, but I just want to put that out there. So, Guildmaster is it's like a kind of a tactical sort of XCOM style RPG, except that it has a focus on dialogue, and also the missions are handcrafted. There's not procedural generation for the missions or that sort of thing, and it is quite irreverent, I think is the word. It's it doesn't take itself too seriously, but there's a bit of a story, and there is some character to all the different people. Now, in this game, you are a guildmaster, and you're kind of controlling a guild, and you have a different number of people throughout the game. But at the end, you have about 16 different adventurers, of whom you can select 4 to go on any given mission. If you can have a look at the options here, I think it's a Unity game from what I know, so there's a few different options. Video, you got window full screen, different resolutions. Audio is pretty straightforward. You got a few options here just for the interface, and controls. You got to use what they give you here, pretty much. Can't customize this, it seems. And what we'll do, we're going to load a mission about halfway through the game. I believe there's 14 missions total. I stopped counting, to be honest, but that's what I've heard, and it seems about right. Now this is about halfway through the game, and just to put it out there, my total playthrough is about 14 hours, but I did have to replay some sections that I was playing on hard, and I also did do the dialogue every time. So now this is like your guild here. This dude at the front desk is who you get missions from, and sometimes you'll have guests who will join the guild later on, and they will come with a mission of their own, basically. So here we have 2 new recruits. I think these might be the are they the final people? I'm not sure. So it's the Guildmaster. Oh yes, you must be the door-to-door cheeseman I summoned. Now each of you go behind one of these doors, and I'll attempt to sell you various cheeses. I think you must be mistaken. We're here to join the guild. Join the guild? Don't be silly. What would the guild have for your door-to-door cheese buying skills? We're not cheesemen, and our skills would prove quite useful to the guild. Oh yes, I'm quite handy with axes. No, don't tell me. Wait until I ask, otherwise it spoils the fun. Very well, you're welcome to join. I'll just be collecting guild dues from you both, in exchange for some of our fine door-to-door cheeses. So, all the dialogue is pretty humorous. It goes for humor anyway, and it's sort of, I think it's kind of Monty Python sort of based. I would say this guy, the main guy, is sort of like the John Cleese sort of idiot character in all his interactions. Most of the other people could have straight men. So in the next mission, I believe these 2 people, there have been reports of strange ice creatures emerging from a cave near a local village. We've been asked to investigate and stop whoever is creating or summoning them. Oh dearie. If you look at the guild members, I have the full roster here. So we got, 15 dudes, totally. Now, you notice these people here are resting. When you go on a mission, you're not available for the next mission. That's how it just straight up. We can look at different people here. This is one of the first people you get. It tells you what you can use here. They got a few stats: toughness, agility, and willpower. So each toughness is just health, agility is evasion if they can do it, and movement. and also bowmanship, let's say, and willpower is energy. So this is like their stamina to provide different special attacks or magic attacks. Some also have a magic ability, like she can. She's better against some enemies. So, and you got armor and evasion as well. Now, not everyone has the same. Like this is a spellcaster here. He's got no evasion, no armor, so he's straight up gonna take some damage here. And you got different abilities. She can do like a night walk. I never use this, but it's good. This guy, for example, he gets energy when he takes hits. So yeah, there's different people, and after each mission they'll level up, and you can increase these 3 stats by 3 points as you wish. Now and if you don't take them, they don't level up, like this woman here. I think it's a woman who I have not leveled up in a long time. So, and there's also Guildopedia here, sort of like an XCOM, UFOpedia, or or the Civipedia. You know, you got different. You kind of got a lot of different. You know, it tells you everything you need to know. I think I never actually had a look at this. These are like different debuffs and buffs that you'll see. So it's all well and good. Now there's 4 rooms on here. There's not a lot you can do in the guild itself, like you can't interact with stuff, but you can come in here. Sometimes after each mission, people will be around the guild and they'll be, you know, basically, you know, they'll be doing their own thing, and if they got an exclamation, you can talk to them. For example, I'll talk to one woman here. This is one of the, hello, Guildmaster. So you can ask about their skills, and now this will give you this, and when you first join, they will have a bit more information here. But, ask about the previous quest. Putrid creatures, what could have twisted the once lovely druids into such wretches? I don't know. A pony? What? How could a pony? A special kind of pony, a new sort of pony with special powers, and who is mean? A mean pony with special powers, the specialest powers ever. I mean, special mean power pony away. Have you ever reverted to a state of infancy? Not at all. You could ask, what could have twisted... You asked, what could have twisted the druids into wretches? I was merely speaking in hypotheticals. More like babbling in hypotheticals. So that's kind of typical of the dialogue. I won't kind of talk to anybody else here. Up here we have an enchanting room, and this basically allows you to buy and choose buffs for a given mission. So you gotta buy stuff. I haven't bought them all, but you know, you can get enhance your melee, enhance your range, status resistance, Guildmaster, spell amplification. You know, there's different things you can do here. A lot of this is just kind of window dressing in here. And up here there's a library, and there's like, let's have a look first. So here's a library. Now, a lot of people in here today, and you can talk to this golem. And there's a few books you can look up, but there's not a whole lot of books. And the books that the books are much the same. They're kind of different, humorous takes on this and that. And the barman will, so you can always talk to the 4 people from the previous quest, and the barman has their own, irreverent dialogue. Now, from what I understand, each character has unique dialogue for every quest for which they are available. So that might be where a lot of the replayability comes in. If you're really into the dialogue, you can look into it and take different characters on different quests. Although you'd have to kind of track who you took when. But you can get different. Like the previous woman talked about putrid creatures, so it's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot of character in that sense, and I think each person has their own sort of personality, and they can have a little bit different interactions with the guy, although they all tend to be straight, and he's, except for the barman. The barman's a bit of a joker, I'd say. So that's kind of the full extent of the guild. Now, yeah, between missions, you gotta come back, you can buy stuff here, you can talk to people, and when you're ready to set out, you talk to this guy. Now, you'll have one or two choices here. Usually, that's like the maximum. Got a little description here. Now you could prepare your party, and let's see. Do I have to pick somebody? No, I guess not. So I can try and pick a variety of people here. The order that you pick them will also determine how they kind of spawn on the field. I like this guy because he's got this. He's got a very nice defensive ability. I'll throw him in there. He's a blunt man, and it's good to kind of have. Arguably, it's good to have a variety of things. I'll maybe put her. I haven't used her much. I'll throw her in there. Some fodder, perhaps. Taking suboptimal people, if I'm honest here. But it is okay. Now these people, these people level 5. I should honestly take these people. But let's see. So if I want to show, actually, what I'll do, I'll put her just to give a good variety of she's a crossbow lady, bow lady. Oh, she's not I was thinking she was something else here. A second here. Can I have the goblin girl? And oh, it won't be vitalism. No, let's see here. I'm just trying to get the maximum mix, a good mix of individuals here. Let's take you out. Let's add I call her Vasquez. I don't know. It looks a bit like Vasquez to me. From Aliens, if you're not aware. So, what is this? We also want this a Wanderoo. Now she's a sword and a hack and a sword. It doesn't have a vital. Oh, I can add this woman then? That was my plan here. And this woman. Quite a few women characters, if something like that matters to you. Now for the interface here, we got the items here. There's a guild and a shop, right? So what's handy is when you click on their slot, it will. See, if I go to all, it'll go to what he can equip, and you can go between the two and see, okay, this is what I have, this is what I can buy. Now, when you buy a thing, let's say I buy and equip this. I'm like, oh wait, oh no, I don't want this, I don't want this. Unequip, go to guild, sell it. Look, I can sell it the same price, right? Now, so you can buy it and you can sell it. And it'll decrease in value, but only after you have completed the mission using it, basically. So, we got a blunt weapon here, you got a magic item, everyone's got a magic slot. This is some alchemy stuff going on here. I'll maybe just grab this. We got a let's throw some stuff here. Now this is all old gear actually, but I shall use it anyway. I think the value might decrease with subsequent uses also. I'm not sure of that. Now I've actually kind of just used what I've got. But so if you look at this, you kind of look at what they can do here. Now each weapon imparts different abilities. You got your basic damage, you got the energy cost, and you got a special ability. And you gotta be careful here because the energy cost, if they got low energy, the cost might be such that they can't really use it. Even they got the fanciest weapon around, but they can't use it, which is gonna be a bit of a mistake. I just kind of wonder what I want to get here. If we go to the shop, Bashing Flail. You want to look at him? Oh. I just gotta go to blunt weapons here. Dwarven Flail. Just kind of wondering like what I got here. So I think this weapon here I got is pretty good. Go to the sword, Mithril Longsword. Mithril Saber. Actually, I might take. Let's unequip this. I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna try this jumping attack here, which I have not used. I get it. This looks like pretty cool. Add this in there. I use my monies, by the way. What I might do here, like, there's two different wand types as well. So, Expert Wand of Aggression. What do I got here? I got the Wand of. I got the Adept Wand. This is the Expert Wand. Although I'm not seeing a big deal here. I wonder if there's an aggression. I'm not jazzed about those, if I'm honest. We can look at alchemy here. See these bomb. I got a 4-point bomb. You can get like some much better bombs if you wish. But we think we got some fire enemies coming. I already upgraded her anyway. Does she need anything else really? He's got. What I might do, I go to that magic items. And you get braces of willpower. That'll increase my willpower by 3. Maybe grab these. And there you go. And what else do I have here? Ring of Protection. Oh. Sure, we can grab this. I don't have many magic items, as you may have noticed. I still got 150 big ones, which is enough for what? Willpower we got here. This is my spellcaster. And, let's see here. Element, we know we got some ice creatures coming in. Maybe what I'll do, I'll unequip this. Add this resistance for a price I cannot afford. Then we can go here and sell a few things off. Sell this off. $200 now. There we go. Buy and equip this. Just throw this on here. And you. Yeah, I could sell some more stuff, but that's fine for now, I think. So then, once you got your, you need to have everybody fully equipped. But once you're ready, you hit begin the quest. And they get teleported out here by this spinning dark crystal, blue crystal. Dum dum dum. Now this is your kind of battle area. This fog of war here, and this looks like to be the either WASD to move around. You can head up here. It's the Scouty man. You got like a little box here that'll tell you what's what. Damage, and there's like a battle log. That's the word we're looking for today. Battle log. I got nothing so far. I'll keep this woman in the back here and enter. Now up here you got some. I kind of selected, but there'd be some Guildmaster spells you can do here. You're gonna hit end turn here, and if you haven't used stuff, it'll say, "Are you sure you want to end the turn?" So this is very good. Oh, we have Iceman here. Iceman cometh. So they're doing damage, and they're doing minus energy, if you noticed, as well. Each turn, everyone will regain some energy. But for the start, am I a volcano? I'm a volcano lady, right? There we go. We can do this. Now, there's some vulnerabilities, like ice is vulnerable to fire, so we're going to see massive damage here. I want to just check out this leaping attack here. What is this? Oh yeah, so you can set the different attacks here, and you can also hover over here and it'll give you more, more insight. If you're doing melee, you can attack adjacent on the cardinal directions. That's north, south, east, west. And if you're not a melee, then you can shoot anywhere you like. Now, melee will always hit, unless the enemy has like evasion, which it might miss, or they have armor, which will mitigate the damage. Range attacks have a percentage-based chance to hit. Flame attacks will always, magic attacks will always hit, except if they have evasion. I think it's evasion or armor. I think it's the same. It's the same as like a melee attack, basically. So, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually... This will put a vulnerability, which will make them take double the damage next time they get hit after armor. So they're both on fire. They're both taking double damage because they're on fire and they're ice. He's got a... That's his ability where you can just avoid all damage. Now who's the vulnerable person? It's this one, right? So, let's check this. I do have energy for this. So I can do a sapping strike. This will, it's like a vampiric attack. It will give you health based on how much damage you do, not how much damage they took. So you can hit somebody for massive damage who's almost dead and you still get the full benefit. Now we have different attacks. This is a stunning attack. This will push the man back. One thing to note is that you can... it's not move and attack. You can keep moving until you've used all of your movement. But once you've attacked, you're done. But you could, for example, move someplace, switch to another. Like I can move out, for example. Let's see what's a good example here. What abilities do I have here? Anyway, you can kind of move out, and then say. You can gather all you guys together. You can throw a buff bomb on them, alchemy bomb, like a restore health. And then you move them all back out, and then they perform their attacks, right? Now this attack throws them, and if he hits something like a wall or another person after 1 square of movement, they both take another bit of damage. It's handy. Now I can keep. One thing is just apply this invulnerable on people. And now this is one man, but I can do this fire thing here. It's gonna take double damage. Minus 20. He took double and he took double again. Double because he's ice and double because he's vulnerable. So these guys are both gonna be puddles on the floor. And you can see also I have a spell available. This is the spells that I've unlocked. You unlock one every mission, and there's different tiers of spells. So you have some variety there. There's some prerequisites in some cases, but it's not. That tends to be. Oh, look! I got a person right here. It tends to be the exception to the norm, the prerequisite. Now what I'm doing, I'm just getting myself all strung out here, which is totally fine. Now this will do definitely hit. So I'll take this little slimer here. So the graphics, you'll notice they're a bit they're pixelated. They're maybe a bit aimed at like an older genre. The characters do all have custom animation. All the characters have custom animation, and there's quite a few enemies. There's probably about 30 enemies, I think. I'm not sure the specifics, but seems about right. So we'll end the turn here. Oh, yes. Thank you for telling me about this. So now he's got global spells. He can hit whatever you can see. I might do something different here. This will boost this guy's attacks. So let's try this. Rock, get down here, get down your rock. Now, when I perform an attack now, you'll notice it's giving me 4 plus 2. And the plus 2 is how much bonus damage I now have because of this buff. Oh, now she is again taking a massive beating. I might try to use the sapping ability again, but I cannot because I do not have enough energy. So, we don't have a heal on any of these people. She could have a heal on her wand. She does have a heal actually, but it's a self heal only. That's not much of a benefit. And I could though do another AoE fireball thing. Oh. And if you notice, she actually took splash damage when this big guy died. So that's one of his abilities he's got going on there. Now I maybe just do absorb some heal. So this is like another vampiric thing. +3, -3. Now we'll end the turn. Oh, I didn't use this yet. We could do this too. Why not? Some alchemy bombs here. Sounds good. So, some more people coming in. Oh, maybe I can now show this. It's gonna go 3, so let's see what I can do also. Let's just put this in. No. We'll do this first here. Bash down. See, they both took -3. He took 7 and he took another 3 after that. Now you are in a sorry state of affairs, but it's totally fine. We'll do a vulnerability here. I'll just throw a firebomb because I can. So this guy is in a bad way. Got all the fire attacks this time, so that's pretty good in that sense. So the art is serviceable. I think a lot of gamers don't care too much about the graphics. Let's see, I can just do a regular attack here, it'll do him. Isn't he dead? Oh, he's armored, so he didn't take the full... Why is this woman almost dead? What is happening here? Can I do a sapping attack? Yes, I can. Oh! I might have goofed. Oh no. So I could have healed, but I failed to hit the target there. Oh, I do have a heal though. Heal her up. +10. Woohoo! So she has an ability here where she can get some health back. And this woman could throw a bombaroo. Why not? Doesn't hurt. Throw it over there. Why not? This is one of the early enemies, so he's pretty easy to take down comparatively. Oh! Blimey, I'm almost dead. Now, see, what do we have here? I might move up here. I'm going to cast vulnerability on this guy here. And again, we're just going to throw some fire at him. So he'll take massive damage. I wish you could get there, but you cannot. And this woman, I think she's all out of firebombs, so might not be a long game for this girl here, but oh, I can do anything. I could do a thing. I could do a thing. This guy'll be dead, I think, now. So, as I was saying, the gameplay is pretty... It's fairly basic, but there's enough meat on it where, you know, it's pretty... I enjoy it anyway. It's not... You need to think a bit. You know, some of the missions do get pretty challenging. And there are different combos you can do. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't go over there, lady. My goodness. Why did I go so far? That's not smart of me. One thing also is that every mission... Oh, I can heal him now, though. I don't know why this guy did not act. Nearly every mission has, Actually, maybe I can move you now. Oh! Now, let's just talk about what I generally think about the game. Now, I think the graphics are pretty serviceable. There's some detail. There's quite a bit of detail in some of the sprites. The style is, you know, it's not bad. I think what I would say is that the animations could be sometimes a lot more dynamic. The effects are not... They're okay sometimes, but some of them are not my favorite, I would say. Like the fireball, for example. But some of them are pretty good. I think the debuff and buff icons could be a bit higher. The interface is okay. I think some people have kind of said they'd like to have some hotkeys for the abilities. Although the abilities, you know, they change depending on your people, and especially with some of the later weapons, you do get a lot of abilities. If you have like multiple weapons, you can have a lot of abilities. So that could be kind of a restriction. It's not like some games where you only have a set amount, right? But for the most part, the graphics are okay. You know, they do the job. There's a lot of work gone into them because you know, they have custom animations for every character, and there's quite a few enemies. There's not a whole lot of color swaps for enemies. Like some of the early slimes, you'll get that, but beyond that, they all have sort of custom models and quite a fair amount of animations, let's say. For the gameplay itself, you know, the gameplay has some meat to it. It's not too simple. It's also not too complex. It's sort of a relaxing tactical game, I would say. I played on hard, and for the most part, it was pretty relaxing. You have to think a little bit, but you don't have to think, you know, too much, I would say. It might vary depending on who you are, of course, depending on your experiences with games. But you know, it's about target selection. It's about seeing who's a threat. You know, picking the right heroes, having a good team mix, I think, to go in there. So, doing a little bit of preparation based upon what you're likely to face. Like if you're against goblins, maybe you want some accurate weapons. If you're against elementals, you want, you know, the power that's vulnerable against them. And he wants people who can take some hits. So there's a fair amount of there's some planning involved, and the combat itself. You got like a health bar, energy bar, you got evasion sometimes, you got armor and some abilities. So and some creatures do also have vulnerabilities or resistances against certain types of attacks, which tend to be elemental attacks, not really melee attacks. I haven't seen a distinction between, say, like a bladed and a blunt weapon, for example. So There's some meat to it. It's not super complex. I would say maybe you could, the combat itself could be pushed a bit more. You could have, say, more specialized types of enemies. The enemies, for example, they don't really buff each other. They don't. You don't have a support enemy really. You just have different types of attacking enemies, which is fine. It's range attack, melee attack, magic attack, but you're not gonna have a situation where there's somebody's buffing friendlies and you have to decide, or buffing his friends, and you decide, I'm gonna attack the friends or I'm gonna attack the guy who's less of a threat, but he's buffing everybody, right? Like, that's not really a choice you have to make most of the time. And also, I think you could have some enemies that just have more armor than normal, or more kind of little special abilities, or some that have like a melee attack. You don't really have, not a melee, but like an AoE attack. Some enemies will put a debuff on you, but they're not really going to buff themselves much at all. Maybe you could have like kind of a berserker enemy who, one turn he's going to buff himself, and the next turn he's going to wail on you with, increased strength, right? Like, there isn't a lot of that in the game. So the gameplay, it could be pushed, and it could be pushed with the tools that already exist in the game, right? You don't have to add more tools. You don't have to add more rules or specials. Just, you got to use what's already there, right? So that's something that it could certainly add to the game. There's been a lot of comments on the forums, I think, about the game length. For me, it was fine. I don't mind a game where you buy it and you play it and you're done. I don't want a game necessarily where I'm going to play it for hundreds of hours, like a lot of indie games now try to go for. I like to have, just play it and done. But that'll vary for some people. Some people, I don't know what the average gameplay time is. For me, it's about 14 hours, as I said before. But for some, maybe it's 7 hours, 8 hours. It's hard to say. It depends what difficulty you play on. It depends if you read all the dialogue as well. So that's going to affect the gameplay length for sure. The dialogue itself, it's humorous. It's not. I didn't know if I had any laugh out moments, but I kind of did enjoy it. I think some of the dialogue trains by the end were kind of a little bit. Is getting old. The joke was getting old in some cases. Not all cases, but some cases for sure. Another thing I would say is that for hard difficulty, at least, I do feel like I'd never really had a huge amount of tools to play with, I guess. Like, every mission I'd be selling stuff and I'd be buying the best stuff I could get. But there is certainly a lot of weapon types that I didn't use, right? Some abilities I didn't use through the whole playthrough. Which, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing for replayability, it's a bad thing for experience all the content. I think in general, the game could benefit from a bit of padding, honestly. Each mission, as far as I know, as I said before, each mission has a custom dialogue for every hero that's available for that mission. And you're also going to see new enemy types. I'm not sure, but I think every mission has a new enemy type, at least one. So that's a lot. That's a lot of, and each mission also you're going to have new items available to buy. So you're going to have new dialogue, new items, a new spell for your Guildmaster, new enemies to face, potentially 1 or 2 more heroes depending on where you're on the story. So there's a lot of new content every mission, and I think that might be restricting the game somewhat in the game's length. If every mission has all this after it, then it's harder to kind of make the game longer. And I think the game could have benefited maybe from, a few more missions in between. Maybe some missions you don't see a new enemy. I think one of the biggest restrictions is probably like the dialogue, actually. The dialogue is both good and bad. It's good because, you can have fun with it. But maybe it's bad because it's a burden to put into it, right? Like, once you have a mission, once you have enemies and you have graphics and all this, you can build a level fairly easily, I would think. You got to test it, of course, but when you have also dialogue on top of it, it does kind of increase the burden of every mission. So I think also in terms of content, you know, they say, a lot of people say now most gamers don't finish a game, right? A given game. I'm sure every gamer finishes some game, and maybe, you know, but in general, your average gamer and the average playthrough isn't going to experience the whole thing. Now, when you have unique dialogues for every mission, that's additional content that they won't experience, right? So it's kind of compounding the amount of content that they don't see. So it might be better instead to have sort of dialogue that isn't dependent on the mission, but kind of unlocks after a given mission. Kind of like, you know, kind of like the old Bioware games where you're with a guy for a while, and then after a while it's like, hey, I got to talk to you about something. And it's like, well, okay, what? It's like, here's some exposition about my past. It's like, okay, nice story, buddy. Anything else? And like, nope. And then the other guy's like, hey, I got my hand up. Can I talk to you too? You know, that kind of thing. So you can have a different story with every character, or a running gag, or whatever you want. But just have it spread out throughout the game, but have it, you know, available to everyone if they choose to read it, right? So you have less dialogues per character, but maybe overall the player is going to see more content if they're reading it. I also think the other thing I would say is that it might be good to have dialogue in the mission itself. There is a bit of it, but what I don't mean is like you don't want a conversation, especially if the player has to replay it, because it can be kind of annoying. But maybe you can just have like little barks, you know, like maybe a hero does a lot of damage, he's like, oh, you know, die goblin, or, you know, something funny though, or the Guildmaster always confuses these two brothers, so maybe like one guy takes damage and Feld takes damage, he's like, Rock, why didn't you use your shield? It's like, I'm Feld. Give me a break, man, I'm Feld. I'm on my butt here, you know, something. You can have little barks that kind of bring that funny characterism into the mission itself. Because if somebody doesn't interact with the characters in the bar, they're not going to get any of that, right? So you can at least add it to the mission in a non-invasive way, I guess. You just have it like come up on the screen. If the guy wants to read it, he reads it, and then you can have different, not like tailored, but maybe you just have a bunch of responses, maybe some of them situational and stuff. So just, I think that would be maybe a better use of the creative energies there. Also, I think the missions themselves could use a little bit more scripting, you know, just like a little more special events. Now it's just most missions are kind of explore the map, kill the guys in the map, which is fine. But you could have a little bit more fun stuff happening, like, oh, you go into a room and then there's an ambush from both sides, or little things that'll change the mission itself at some point. That might be more interesting, you know. So there's a lot of things, little things that I think could be done in that respect. And if you lessen the burden for each mission, you could just add more missions more easily, I think, comparatively, you know, and that could address some of the complaints about length that some people might have. I think the length might discourage some people from buying it. As it stands, the game is about $13, $14 USD. Canada, it's a bit less, but our dollar is less anyway. UK, I'm not sure, but you know, that's something to consideration. And the music is fine. You know, the dialogue is fine. The story itself, it's pretty loose and light, but has some nice twists at the end, which are kind of funny. The final battles and the battles leading up to it were very nice, I think. As I said, there's a good variety of enemies. I just wish there was maybe, but to some extent they are kind of samey, so that's why I'm saying that there could be some variety in their purpose, right? Maybe that requires an entire new chain of AI chain or something, so maybe that's very hard to implement, but it's something to think of. But I think overall the game is pretty solid, and I don't know if there's any plans to expand upon the game, maybe add some more content, but I think it's a pretty solid base. And I think if you push it in a few directions and kind of shape it a bit more, it could make it, you know, that much better. Or maybe if he does a sequel to this, you can see, you know, a few changes in terms of feedback. So I think you could reuse a lot of the artwork, add some new enemies, some new environments, maybe, you know, and it could serve the same way, right? Overall, I think it's pretty good. whether interested or not is up to you. For my time, I enjoyed my time with it, and the price wasn't too bad. But I'm in the position where I don't have a lot of time, and I do have, a decent amount of money. So for me, time is more important than money. So I don't want to spend a huge amount of time. I'm very loath to start like a proper RPGs, right? I'm also loath to kind of do a procedural thing where I might have to restart it and I lose, 20 hours or something. So that's my perspective. But your perspective may vary, so that's all for now. And I'll give you a link below. This has been Guildmaster, Gratuitous Subtitle. Thank you for watching, and this has been Koala Brownie.